How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Binding of Isaac Repentance. It's been a little while since we played. We got a little bit of catching up to do if we want to keep our progress going. And I suppose, maybe it's time for a, everyone's done greed mode, huh? Maybe we do an alt run today. Perhaps get some alt progress. Let's do a Polyon, alt Polyon. Don't remember what he does. We'll go ahead and throw him in greedier. Might as well. Switch it up for a little bit. We've got the Abyss charge, and we got some flies. I think he's the fly man. I think he can turn items into flightums. Marrow, okay. That's pretty awesome. Very excited for some marrow maxing. Got a blue heart, that's good. We'll hold on to that. We can go refill our marrow here. Okay, unfortunately, we've made a mistake by doing this, but that's fine. Hope you guys are doing good. Having a good whatever time of the day it is for you currently. Right now, it's a little after midnight. Just got off of another glorious shift at the card shop. And, some pretty interesting stuff happening today. It was the Azurite Sea, no, not Azurite Sea, Arcasia's Island Lorcana Thor set champion. And for people who think that's just a whole bunch of gibberish, basically Disney card game, 7th set champion. So had a lot of people there today. A lot of them very sweaty individuals. A lot of times you don't see too many of the locals at the store champs. You see a lot of people from out of town who are kind of doing they're on that grinder mindset. I'm noticing that there's some icons for when enemies summon. That's kind of cool. I appreciate that. Makes it a lot better for when I need to be concerned about... yeah, I was going to have to eat that one. When I have to be concerned about whether or not I'm going to get destroyed from an enemy who just spawns underneath me. So a good change for sure. What was I saying? Talking about Lorcana, yeah. A lot of sweaty people. A lot of unhappy faces today at the end of it because some of the pricing has changed. But it started at 12, so being there at 11, everyone's getting ready, getting everyone signed up for whatever third-party service Lorcana's using. Now it's Melee, and in the future, it's going to be some old custom software. Always a little buggy, but that's just because a lot of people, are doing tournaments at the same time. Get everybody signed up. It's like 15 people showed up, so didn't have to do a top 8 cut, just had to do a top 4 cut. Get through the tournament. It ends at about like 5 or so, 5 o'clock. Clean up after it. It's about 5:30. There goes our marrow heart. About 5:30 when we clean up, and I'm just excited because normally, Saturdays are pretty slow. I figure Lorcana's over, everyone's left. I'll be able to just chill. I won't have to worry about anybody talking to me. The store is going to be dead, so I'm just going to relax, get some stuff done, and just have a good time. However, obviously, that could not be the case. I'm going to eat that and make it into a bomb fly. That's kind of cool. Probably should have done the same thing for marrow. But, it obviously can't work that well. That would be very silly. Because, lo and behold, one of the people who was supposed to show up for the tournament earlier and couldn't due to whatever obligations kept them, they rolled in at about 6 o'clock. And they weren't in the mood for buying, they were in the mood for talking. And unfortunately, as I had to flick back on my salesman persona, I guess it was going to be time to talk. So we talked about Lorcana, about card games in general. Ouch. Okay, well, it's fine, we'll give it another go. But Lorcana, card games in general, and a whole bunch of different stuff that didn't really matter. The premise of running a store, just a bunch of garbage, a bunch of old garbage. But I figured, you won't be here for long. Certainly, I will be able to get him out of this store with enough time to finish up and close on time. How wrong I was, because 6 goes to 7, 7 goes to 7:30. We close in 30 minutes, and, you know, we're still talking. Good conversation, but it's just one of those things where whenever it's time for things to calm down, simmer down, there's always got to be one more thing. But on the bright side, at least he's a cool guy to talk to, and the conversation wasn't inherently bad. Dude, I'm getting smoked today. Although I'm not really a big fan of Lurkana. I think the way that they've set up their game is not very advantageous. And hopefully they figure it out. They've got some judge qualms that they've yet to... That is a dime. I mean... I'll take a dime. Dime seems pretty good in this circumstance. They got some judge issues. I think we just eat that one. I don't really want to... Don't really want to cursed eye it up right now. But, you know, it could have been worse. There's a lot more individuals that could have come in that store that I would have been significantly less happy to talk to, because the guy who came in was pretty cool. But it's, you know, just one of them days. One of them days for sure. But back to the task at hand. We are still kind of figuring out old Apollyon here. I feel like it is key to get these flies up as fast as possible. I don't like that he's here. Probably one of my least favorite, not champion, but alternative enemies. Just because I feel like he's got so much health. But if we can catch these enemies when they spawn, we've got a significantly better chance at keeping everything under control. Oh, that's a big wave. That is a big wave here. And I don't reckon that we'll unlock anything for doing Painted Apollyon greedier. But, you know, I figure we haven't done one in a while. That being an Isaac run, a greedier run, or a Tainted Apollyon run. So, might as well do a combination of the 3. Good job, flies. Fortunately, I think we're going to have to take a small break and get the rest of these enemies down here. Certainly we'll be able to finish off these gapers soon. But aside from standard work premises, it's been a very interesting time for gaming. For once, it feels like there's a lot of good games coming out. You know, we got Tainted Grail right around the corner to full release. It's a pretty good game I can recommend. Sort of Skyrim-y, sort of Dark Souls-y. Kind of like, you got that RPG package that Skyrim has, but you got some more boss-centric stuff. It's fun. Fun game for sure. In addition to that, new roguelite just dropped. The Blueprints. What a game. What a fantastic game that is. I mean, Mr. Me's kind of cool. We can steal stuff, right? That's the premise of Mr. Me here. Okay, we can steal stuff that doesn't cost money, I suppose. Well, good to note. We'll keep that in mind. I feel like I may or may not have wasted 15 cents if Mr. Me can no longer steal items. And also it uses up my charge. That's fine. We'll chill. We're chill. I'm sure there's a whole lot of other stuff Mr. Me can do, like witness the birth of 4 Gertie Juniors. Not Gertie Jr. Yes, Gertie Jr.? Yeah, Gertie Juniors. Witness the birth of 4 of them. All here to attempt to take away my precious health pool, which I've spent so long trying to commandeer. Also, I'm not sure how we didn't get hit with the creep there. But we're doing it. Slowly but surely. Hopefully we can pick up some better flies here in a not too long time frame. We're not gonna have enough money to grab another item, unfortunately. Oh, we beamed him into us. We drifted him into our forehead at the cost of the half of my remaining blue heart. All right, you're done. Go ahead, hang up the towel, bud. We will fight for this secondary boss in a second. But is it worth? I guess we take this, right? Just in case we got to deal with the devil, and certainly he'll be able to steal an item from a deal with the devil, right? There's no way that he doesn't. Okay, let's see if we can get Larry out of here. Monster, you can stay up there, man. Oh, we got poop blocked. That's tough. Okay, Monster is in a tight spot there, which is good. We'll give him a second to think about his actions while we finish off old Larry. Monster, please. Please, Monster, I beg of you. Calm down. Okay, now you can go back to your regularly scheduled fighting. So easy does it. Okay, that was terrible. Gotta shake off the rust. Not used to such small hitboxes. Speaking of interesting hitboxes, another pretty cool game I've seen recently called White Knuckle. Sort of like a parkour-esque game. Been playing the demo recently. It's cool. A lot of cool games on the horizon. Talked about Blueprints, talked about White Knuckle and Painted Grail. They also have Arc Raiders, which looks pretty sick. Unfortunately, I didn't get to make it into the beta while it was there. Grab that for me? Dude, what can... Okay, hold up. What can Mr. Me even do now? Can he no longer steal items? Okay, let's see. Go to the Isaac Wiki. Mr. Me. What does this bad boy even do? Summon a ghost, controllable after a few seconds, disappearing. And then the ghost will act depending on what the crosshair was targeting. Items, pickups, trinkets, chests, red chest, spike chest, and mega chest. Can steal from the shop and devil rooms. Stealing an item has a 50% chance to fail. Okay, so I'm just I'm just unfortunately unlucky. Who would have guessed? Okay, well, that's tough toenails, Binky. I guess we're gonna play it risky for the bisky. Use our book here, and then we're gonna eat it. And now we got big fly. 2 big flies, for that matter. I'm not sure if they're both supposed to be staying big, but we'll take that. We can't go into the secret room anymore, unfortunately. Also, did I take a hit for that nickel or that dime earlier? I guess I was just not paying attention. We will take ourselves... Uh-oh. Be nice to her. A bomb. A single bomb would do wonders. Okay, come on now. Let me go back and grab my half red heart that I left in here. There was no bomb in the... I almost wonder if it's worth it specifically to stack max. Let's see. Go down like a couple cents. Any bomb? There's a sack of bombs, but that doesn't really count. Well, that's tough. We'll have to say goodbye to those sacks as we venture forward into hopefully greener pastures. In reality, I'm hoping that we've got some good items. Basic item, Jesus Juice. That's pretty good. I vibe with Jesus Juice. Please stop that. And then our other item is Ipecac. And the D6. So, we come across an interesting dilemma. I really like Ipecac. I really don't like losing. And I feel like both of these are at odds. Oh, that was a range up? No, I'm a fool. I am such a buffoon. I forgot that Jesus Juice was a range up, and now Ipecac is significantly worse. That's fine. We'll either make it work, or we will die. And I can't wait to find out which one happens. Okay, 2 bombs. That's cool. Not quite what I need. Go ahead and hunt for some secret rooms, perhaps. Maybe get an... Okay, I was too close to the rock there. Maybe get a nickel from one of these. That's a spider. Don't make me blow myself up, please. Okay, cool. Blow this guy up. Give us the goods. Okay, that's 2 more spiders. Unfortunate. No secret room there. There is a secret room. What do we got? 2 chests. That's massive. Oh, that actually is massive. What the heck? We've been getting very lucky with dimes on this run. No, I don't think we want either of these items. Oh, but we can't actually re-roll it. So I suppose we'll take the screw. Health up? That would be pretty cool. Let's not fail a 3rd time in a row. Oh! That's huge. That's massive, even. We now get at least a mistake to make, which is great. Making 1 mistake, at least for the meantime, will be cool. Getting that opportunity is very nice. You gotta go. And with our Ipecac, we should be pretty set when it comes to clearing out runs. Uh-oh. And a weird little convenient part of this floor is I can abuse my range a little bit more because of the reflection of the water, at least if enemies are above me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Ugh. Get him. Get him. Alright, skeleton, you gotta go. My range is becoming a super handicap, but that's fine. We'll just have to play to our strength of being at the bottom of the stage here. So on to an interesting topic that I have come across as of recent. You know, for as long as I can remember, I've had a pretty big issue with solo focusing on things. You know, for example, back in the day when I was a kid and I was really, really on that RuneScape grind, you could find me playing upwards of like 4 accounts at the same time. Or, you know, just multitasking in ways that probably were not the healthiest for my, for the purposes of not training myself to be overstimulated at all times. But, uh-oh. This dude's spooky. Stop with those. Not ready for the bullet hell. Which, you know, as a kid, it didn't really bother me. I'm now focusing, or not focusing, I'm, falling victim to its effects much later as an adult. But I think that also comes to a fact that companies have gotten a lot better at taking advantage of that. You know, with your... Ooh. Take that, please. Grab that for me. That's huge. Thank you, Mr. Me. You're a goat. Companies have gotten a lot better at taking advantage of that aspect. You know, for example, being able to get you caught up in just some schnasty doom scrolling on whatever your preferred platform is, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc. I oftentimes will catch myself in the doom scroll on YouTube, especially because the shorts algorithm is incredibly manipulative. It's actually kind of absurd, but you know, it's just the way things are. Eat that, health down. Wow, that stinks. That stinks on ice. But like nowadays, it's almost socially acceptable to just constantly be distracted by everything at once. You know, people used to make fun of me back in the day for having so many accounts and doing so many things. And then nowadays, you know, I'll walk in on someone, they got the UFC fight up on the TV. They got a, you know, NHL game up on the smaller TV. And then they're playing FIFA on their laptop. And it's like, you know, I respect the hustle. But I definitely... I want to eat that. I definitely have started to make an attempt to lessen that side of myself, especially when, you know, you're walking around, you're like, you know, I think I'm gonna sit down, have lunch, and then you're like, oh, you know what, I can't have lunch without a good YouTube video. And then by the time you find something you want to watch, your food's cold and you don't even think anything of it. You're like, oh, it's just part of the process. Well, no, it's not quite part of the process. I don't think, at least. But it's crazy. It's crazy, and I have to... Okay. We got some interesting stuff in here. I have to wonder what the next generation is going to end up like at the hands of this. Because, you know, oh my goodness, we're going crazy. You've got all this dopamine farming, insane content that kids are just eating up, and a lot of parents, especially parents at like hobby stores, I see them come in and they sit down, they just give their kid an iPad, and they'll just be going crazy on shorts, you know, every 5 seconds a new short. And this has got to be like frying their attention spans. You know, I'm imagining a future where a teacher's got to have an iPad necklace with Subway Surfers going on underneath them just to get kids to pay attention. And it's actually kind of spooky. And it doesn't help that not too long ago... I think we're just going to keep chilling right now. Not too long ago was, you know, when COVID happened, a lot of, at least like a partial generation of kids was set to digital learning exclusively. So now you've got these kids who are much more digitally coherent, at least at such a younger age, which that's just how generational learning and generational technology goes. You know, I'm sure the same thing happened when people got electricity and the next generation knew how electricity worked. But with technology getting as crazy as it is, and they've figured out the science, right? They pretty much have the best possible ways to algorithmically keep your attention for as long as possible. I have to wonder when it's going to start catching limits. Because, you know, I could argue that I have a fully functional adult brain, and some people might even believe me when I say that. But if I fall victim, being at least semi-cognizant of the fact that I know that these companies are trying to take advantage of my waning attention span, if I fall victim to it, what's the plan for, like, you know, I way to sound like a boomer by saying the youth, but like, what's going to happen with the youth, the kids, especially since, you know, iPads are just raising tools for a lot of parents for some unfortunate reason. What do you think happens? So we're gonna buy Plan C, and we're gonna eat it. Yeah, we just got a normal fly. That's tough. I could have taken Plan C instead of Mr. Me, and it would have let me instantly get through the second phase of, I am such a imbecile, dunderhead, buffoon, every negative thing that I could call myself. And I could have gotten through the second phase instantly, which would have been pretty cool. But I think it was worth experimenting just to see what Plan C would have done. Would have been cool if it made a fly that just instantly killed you, and then also a boss. I'd be pretty stoked about that. Okay, don't catch into it. Yeah, the one thing that I can say I'm a little better on you know, running into enemies is still an issue. But I'm getting a little better at bullet hells. Just because, you know, I'm playing Archero at work when I'm on the John. It gets a little congested in that game. But another boss down. These sloths didn't stand a chance to my superior firepower. You've got to die. If I can hit you. Thanks for the free charge. Hopefully this gets me a shadow for free. Mr. Me, give it to me. Alright, that's fair. Fair and reasonable. I can't expect you to get it every time. But I appreciate your efforts. Because at this point, what? You've scored me 2 free items, and we goofed one of them. If we could just get a refresh here for free. Take a discount key with me. And then we shall flee down below. Yeah, it was almost there. Come on. Let's see what we got in this chest here. Ka-choink. Ooh, dude. I'm gonna go back and buy another discount key because that was worthless. Also going to take a sip of my blueberry tea. It's good. It's good. I've been on a blueberry kick recently. You know, I got some blueberry tea. Glimmer. We got a sparkly blow-up fly now. We will take a health up because we are kind of getting obliterated out here. But yeah, blueberry kick, you know, some blueberry sparkling water. Blueberry sparkling water. I don't know why I shot down instead of up. Must just be a little silly right now. Ooh, I'll have to come back at the end of the floor for that. So blueberry sparkling water, blueberry tea, blueberry yogurt. Oh man, blueberries are just hitting nowadays. And speaking of the blueberry sparkling water, the new Liquid Death blueberry buzzsaw, super good. What a banger it is. I really am a big fan of We Need to Go Deeper. Ever since they adjusted what it did, I've super vibed with it. This looks like a good We Need to Go Deeper spot. And it was. I will then eat We Need to Go Deeper in a little bit. Actually, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to eat this one. And then we can eat We Need to Go Deeper. But I do need this first. Yoink. Alright, let's get it going. I'm feeling pretty confident with this run right now. Uh-oh. But we also have a long way to go. Long way to go, like 2 floors, and then Super Mega Turbo Ultra Greed, which is its own fight entirely. Own fight entirely. Oh, he's a 4-way shooter? Oh, we're trolling. We're trolling. We're super trolling. Stop. We're going to die. We're going to die. Oh my goodness, what happened? It all fell apart. It all fell apart. I even talked about blueberries and it still all fell apart, but that was fine. It was, progress. Got to get back into the ring of things, so could have been worse. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode of The Binding of Isaac. Did feel free to leave a like, subscribe. Let me know how you felt down below. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Ciao.